There we go. Welcome, everybody, to the latest edition of the Ain't Easy Being Green podcast, broadcasting to you live from beautiful, amazing, picturesque Crystal Lake Studios in Westchester County, New York. It's just me and Mike this time. You know him, you love him, the number one jet fan in the state of Texas, my colleague and co-host, none other than Michael Garris. What's up, bro?
Yo, son.
Coming off a big Jet W, Mike. We're 2-2. We decided, we told everybody, if we take the W, we're going live right afterwards. All right, we want to enjoy this with people. Get hyped. Jets are 2-2. Little bit of an up and down game. I feel like we kind of controlled. I don't know if the stats really show how much I felt like we controlled the game. A quick drive there for 4-yard drive for a touchdown there from when Pickett came in. Another touchdown right after that in the second half for the Steelers. Big time plays by Zach Wilson in the fourth quarter, guys. I feel like he was a little up and down. I don't know if sorry, everybody. I was screaming during the game. I don't know, Mike, if the stats are necessarily indicative of how good I thought Zach played, but he played pretty decent. Some bad passes out there to the sidelines I saw from Zach. Maybe he's a little rusty. We all got to remember, he only played one drive and then what, Mike? Another play on a second drive in the preseason, right?
That's right.
So he's coming in cold, Zach. He doesn't have reps. He wasn't even really practicing that much till a few days ago. So I thought, considering that, and it's the road and it's Pittsburgh, Mike, and that pass rush was able to put it on us pretty decently, and the fact that during the game, Max Mitchell goes down.
Oh, my goodness.
Apparently, our tackle spot is just cursed right now. Now, Mike, do you remember last episode when I was talking to you and I said, hey, would it be crazy if Salah threw AVT at left tackle? Do you remember that?
You did say that.
Now, I didn't say it thinking it was something that would actually happen. I'm not going to pretend like I did. But I do feel like I put it into the universe. Obviously, we know Coach Salah watches the podcast every week, listens to the show every week, Mike, to tune in to get some insights. And I think we put him over the edge there because you saw AVT at left tackle. Thought he played pretty decent. The Steelers were able to get a pretty good pass rush on Zach. You saw him moving around the pocket a lot. You saw him make some plays in the pocket that were a little iffy there, Mike, getting rid of the ball. But overall, I don't think that second interception I thought should have been a catch by Conklin. The ball right off his hands. Now, Zach maybe put a little heat on that, but he should have caught that ball. The ball was right in his hands, Mike. The first interception was horrible. All in all, Mike, though, we're going to get to the game, get to the way we were able to come back in the fourth quarter and win the game down by 10 points, which is tremendous. But your thoughts on how Zach Wilson played today, Mike, considering the circumstances, considering how much time he's missed, and considering how much pressure's on him to perform right away.
Well, Rich Cimini had a tweet, and he said Wilson was pretty rusty for 3 quarters, but he settled down and made some big-time throws. We judge a QB by how he handles adversity. Can he rally his team when hope appears lost? For the first time in his career, Wilson did that. Second double-digit comeback on the road for this team. First comeback for Zach Wilson in his career. I was texting you and I said, look, this is such a critical moment, not just for the confidence of Zach Wilson, not just for the New York Jets and their season, but just to turn the page, the narrative.
Yes.
It's so big. And the thing is, and we'll get into a lot of what happened earlier in the game, but it was money time. And I saw this kid complete 10 for 12, 147 yards and a touchdown to come back and win those last 2 drives. And he was money on third down and that fourth down that you remember. That's what we're looking for. See, we kind of knew he was going to be rusty a little bit. We even said, look, he's going to throw some interceptions, and we'll talk about some of those interceptions here in a second. But was he able to operate the offense? Remember, that was the first thing I said. Does he look like a credible quarterback? He looked like a credible quarterback, especially at the end there. And then in the beginning, there was some issues with the offensive line. But I thought the kid had poise. He had confidence. He threw with conviction. Okay. He was not afraid of the moment. And he even admitted that at the end of the game, he was expecting, he had no doubt that they were going to score. And to me, when I texted you that, I said, Keith, this moment is so critical, man, because if they go back and win now, everybody in that locker room looks at Zach Wilson like, yo, we can win with this kid.
Yes.
On the road against Mike Tomlin. I don't care if Kenny Pickett was back there or Trubisky, whatever. You got Minka Fitzpatrick, you got Hayward, you got that the Steeler, everybody Pickett. Remember they got Pickett in there, the all the noise and the energy, and you could even hear the commentators. Man, the Jet, they were hurt. And Zach just was like, yo, let's roll.
Yeah, Mike, you're right. And there was even a few mental lapses. And what's up, Enrique? Thank you for tuning in, bro. We appreciate it. But there was some mental lapses there, even when you talk about the comeback. Because Mike, it's 20-10. There's 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter in Pittsburgh. Okay, on paper, that's a game the Jets lose the past 20 years, right? Guys, and we talked about in the last show, there's going to come a time when this team, and we hope it's today, we hope it's this week, but there's going to come a time when this team does change the narrative. Don't forget, the Patriots were a laughingstock of this league for 40 years or however long, and now look what people think about the Patriots. Cheating aside, you can change. There's a time when your franchise can change a narrative, and I was saying last week on the show, man, what about going into Pittsburgh, putting an L on Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, Zach getting a W to start this season off and changing the narrative, and he started doing that today, 20-10. 11 plays, 80 yards down the field, Zach Wilson, on point the whole drive. Okay? Team plays great. We get the ball back after an interception. What was it? It was 10 plays, 65 yards. And we thought we had a touchdown by Breece Hall. We had the ball at the 1 yard line. We get a false start. Then we get an illegal man downfield. Now the ball's back up to the 11-yard line. The kid didn't blink. He still scored a touchdown. Still gets a pass to Corey Davis for a TD. Guys, so this was a big game for Zach. A big game for the team. It's not a game where you come away saying that he was lights out. But I saw a lot of big-time passes. I saw some bad passes too. Some balls that you see that, he needs to just figure out, Mike, when to take a little bit off those passes because he throws those heaters in there to the sidelines. Some of those balls you just got to dump off. But when it was money time and it mattered the most, the defense came up huge, right? And Zach Wilson came up huge because anytime they asked Pickett once he came in to actually throw the ball down the field, because he had a lot of passes that were those design rollouts. He's dumping it off. He's doing a lot of bubble screens, a lot of really easy passing, really simple passing attack. And you know why? He's a rookie. He just came in the middle of a game. I get it. But when they asked him to put the ball down the field both times, interception for the Jets.
Right.
So the defense stepped up too, Mike. 3 interceptions on the day. I think it was only 250 yards or something like that, 270 yards, I think, the whole day for the Steelers on offense. So pretty good job by the Jets defense there. I thought they played pretty well. I thought Quinn Williams looked really good. You saw Sauce make a lot of plays out there. You saw Jermaine Johnson, Mike, get in there, get a sack, the rookie. Clemens came close a few times as well, Mike. So we saw Breece Hall get the game-winning touchdown. We saw big-time plays by Garrett Wilson.
Yep.
So the entire first round of picks and the one guy we grabbed in the second round and even Max Mitchell before he went out all contributed today. And Clemens, Mike. Clemens just saw in a few plays almost get to the quarterback. So a side note to the game is how good all the young guys played. This is the 4th game for a lot of these guys they've ever played. And you're seeing them making some veteran plays, especially Mike Hall at the end. That run, knowing where the goal line was. How many all of us, anyone watching it right now, anyone who knows football has been watching forever, how many times do they get to the goal line and the guy fumbles that, the ball gets tipped out? The wherewithal to get the ball over right where he did, Mike, and know where the goal line was. They showed the replay. Mike, I lost it. I thought it was a touchdown to begin with. So, I know the ball popped out, but man, a really great play by the Young Bucks today, Mike.
So Bob Wischusen, want to just comment on his tweet. He said, if you're going to have a meaningful season, you have to win a game like that. And the Jets found a way behind a patchwork offensive line after a terrible third quarter on offense, 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter on the road, big time, especially for a team this young, to your point, Keith, at who knows what this season can become now. So what he just said, Bob Wischusen, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So Zach Wilson, right away, I'm looking at him. I'm just trying to judge, am I looking at a quarterback that looks better? I noticed he wasn't really drifting that back foot. Like a lot of times you would think that there's pressure. He would drift back and then throw off his back foot, interceptions, all that. He wasn't doing that. He was staying firm in the pocket. But I was noticing that the offensive line really was not doing him any services for him or the running game. You saw we were not able to get a running game at all because they were just killing us. And then Max Mitchell goes down. Of all the things And Connor McDermott, I mean,
Oh boy.
he's not even a rosterable tackle. Goes in there at right tackle, and they're in the backfield at all times. And I'm looking at Zach, and I'm like, how can I judge this quarterback? How can I judge this offense when the offensive line is completely destroyed? I mean, the tackles are gone. We all know. We saw it. Okay. And so, I'm not going to give Zach a pass. Okay. But I am going to say I understand he was operating under a line that was besieged. And that's just what it was. Okay. Now, that third quarter really looked bad on Zach Wilson's interceptions. The first interception, there was man coverage. He threw it a little longer than he should have, but he didn't expect the corner to leave his own man and make it. It was just a great play by the corner, right? That second interception, you can say, yeah, Zach could have brought it down a little bit lower. True, he could have. But you got to catch that, Conklin.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard for me because I know what you were saying about Conklin. Like, sometimes I look at Conklin and I'm like, yo, this dude could be nasty. He really could. Like, I like his athleticism, but he just makes the most. I saw him drop another one today. And anyway, that interception was just, so he had 2 ints and you're kind of like, all right, Zach. But those weren't the interceptions I was seeing from him last year. Okay. And the very first drive he did with the Philly special, they were calling it the Milfy special. I was so excited. Berrios with the perfect pass. Zach Wilson, the first quarterback in franchise history to catch a touchdown. Incredible, right?
That's the first. He's the first ever, Mike?
In franchise history. First quarterback in franchise history to catch a touchdown.
Oh,
awesome. Wow. Awesome. It was a real great way to set the tone. You could see everybody, the life of the team. But I thought losing Max Mitchell and that offensive line really put a damper on the offense. And I thought Zach was just trying to make plays. And what happened again is the defense ended up stepping up. Now I know Mitchell got taken out. They put in Pickett. Pickett was a rookie. He played pretty decently, but I have to credit the defense. Number one, I got to call out the safeties. We've been harping on the safeties, destroying the safeties all season. Joyner and Whitehead played ball today. Oof. Thank you, sirs. Played ball. I can't speak about Sauce Gardner in a more positive light. You were just talking about the rookies. He was lights out today. Lights out today. The corners. I know Michael Carter gave up a few, but corner play was fantastic. The defensive line, Quinnen was a man possessed. He is earning that contract. Look, I hope they play him a little more. I know there was a bunch of things that was said, by the coaches and what. Quinnen Williams is playing like a beast. JJ got back there with a sack. Lawson, sometimes I'm watching Lawson and he likes to spin all the time. And I wish he would just get around, get that burst and just go after the quarterback and stop the moves, man. Because I was focusing in on him. And he would like spin inside on the right. I'm like, yo, bro, just stop. Just go after these cats. You know what I'm saying? But defensive line did a pretty good job. Look, I think the defense, there are some issues there. But overall, I thought that the team on the road with this type of victory, with the quarterback playing in the fourth quarter with those 2 drives, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis.
He's back in the mix, apparently. I know Zach Wilson probably is, his favorite target, obviously, last year. Every game, when the beginning of that season last year, Mike, he was getting 10 targets a game from Zach. He was getting the ball a lot from Zach. And now, we have Garrett Wilson, and we have Davis, and we have Elijah Moore out there balling. Conklin seems to be a player Zach likes a lot. He had 3 catches today for 52. Another guy, Mike, why it's confounding for Jet fans is because if you look at the statistics, he's getting some catches. He's putting some yards up to Conklin. And we haven't had good tight end play in God knows how long. Maybe was Dustin Keller, maybe, right, Mike? Maybe was the last tight end, I think, that we can say was consistently productive for us. From the tight end, or at least a weapon teams had to worry about, And I thought he played, decent today. But again, he had a big drop, and then the ball that bounced off his hands. I know that was kind of a sidearm play by Zach because he was scrambling. But you got to hold on to that, Conklin. You got to, especially on the road, man, you got to help your quarterback, and you got to make those plays. Some of the other passes Zach put out there, especially some of those passes to the sideline. Mike hit one pass over the middle there. He threw. There was no chance anyone could have caught it. Some of these passes are not the receiver's fault, but Conklin has to pull that in. But to something you said, Mike, if you look at the performance of Zach and you look at the context of a few things, one, what happened to the offensive line, and the fact that the Steelers were coming after Zach today. Right? And it's on the road, and the crowd is going completely crazy, and you haven't played the whole preseason, and you had a lot of, hoopla before the season, obviously, we know, with Milfgate and all these other things coming in, and you're finally playing your first game, kind of lost in the mix of this. I think this is his first game of the season, Mike.
His first game
for Zach. And the offensive line is in shambles at the tackle spot. We had to put AVT over there at tackle. We have Connor McDermott in, who probably Mike's least favorite player on the team. Had a big penalty today in a crunch moment. We were in a clutch moment. We were able to overcome it, but still could have shot us in the foot. And when you look at it and you think, Mike, he had the interception, the first interception, bad play by Zach. Second interception, you could put it on Zach, you could put it on Conklin. But what I look at is after those things happened, right, when you could be down in the dumps, and you could kind of be like, I kind of write this game off. It's 20-10, 13 minutes left. I'm not playing that well. I threw 2 interceptions. That's not what happens. After those 2 interceptions, and as all Jet fans thinking to themselves, man, Zach's not really killing it. After that, he picked himself up by his bootstraps and played better in the fourth quarter than he played for the first 3 quarters.
That's right.
After he made those mistakes, Mike, he didn't let them affect him the rest of the game. And that's what you need from a winning quarterback. You might throw a couple interceptions. The guy might tip a ball. The other team might get it. Your stats might not look great in a game. It might not even be your fault. Because to be honest, 18 for 36 for Zach, that's not great. We know that. But if Jet fans think about it, it felt like, this might sound crazy, and normally we do the opposite and we're very critical. To me, it kind of felt like he played a little bit better than these numbers, Mike. I think the reason Jet fans feel that is because when it was crunch time, those last 2 drives, 2 times down the field, Jets scored twice. And that's what it means the most. For Zach. And that's what I was really, really proud of when it comes to the defense. 4 interceptions on the day for the defense here. We know 2 by Jordan Mike, the really great play by Whitehead on his interception. It was 297 yards. I want to correct myself from earlier for the Steelers today. 178 passing, 119 rushing. I thought the defense played well. Mike, I thought Quinnen played great. Sauce played great. As we said, the young guys played great. When we do the show on Wednesday night, we're going to go live. We're going to go through this a little deeper. We're going to go through the drives. We're going to go through the stats and everything. But, Mike, right now, the New York Jets, who, and I'll remind you again, Brady Quinn said we're going to be 0-9.
Oh, he did.
Right? And one of the reasons was the guy who played quarterback today.
Yeah.
Right? Team not put together well. Zach Wilson's a scrub. They're not going to win any games. 0-9 is what he said. Right now, after 4 games, guys, the New York Jets have played just a hair under a quarter of the season. We're 2-2.
I'm going to look up what he said, actually, about Zach Wilson.
Go ahead and take a look, guys. We're 2-2. The Patriots are going against Green Bay. I think, Mike, do they play tonight or are they playing right now? I think they're playing right now, guys.
Which one? Who is? The
Patriots.
Patriots, I believe, are playing right now, and Hoyer's out.
Oh, that's not good for them. So what I'll say is there's a good chance they take an L today, and they go to 1-3. And we get to look at those standings and see the patch right there at the bottom, and the Jets sitting there at 2-2. Going in to play the Dolphins next week. I don't know if Tua is going to be back. We'll see. I doubt he's going to play next week, Mike. I think there'd be a little bit too much backlash on the Dolphins if they play Tua next week. So who knows what type of team is going to come into the stadium next week? I mean, I think that's a winnable game for us. What do you think?
I think that I don't think Tua is going to be able to play that game. I think that Miami has weapons, and you're going to see this cornerbacks tested. They were able to go up against Chase and Higgins, but I'll be honest, Hill and Waddle are just as good or even better than those two. So we're going to have even though there's no Tua, it's still going to be a challenge there. But the Jets are 2-2, and I would like Brady Quinn. We'll get into this on our show coming up. But Brady Quinn back on August 18th said, can we acknowledge once again the media continually tries to make it something they want so badly for this to work out? It's kind of tough, honestly, to listen to. I've not seen a quarterback get more love for doing less from the media than Zach Wilson in a long time, and had us going 0-9. Yeah. So I can't wait to revisit some of this stuff. So
I mean, Zach Mike's played he missed 3 games last year, so I think he played 13 games last year.
This is 14th game.
This is 14th game.
So he's still a rookie, actually.
Right, and we won. I think we won 4 of the games he played last year. Not amazing. Won 1 of the games that he's played this year. He's 1-0. That's 5 wins. And I think in his entire career, Brady Quinn had 11 wins.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know why he has so much shade towards Zach. You'd think someone in that scenario, who was, he was drafted maybe at lower than Zach, of course, but in college was a much higher rated player than Zach was until Zach's senior year. You'd think he'd be in his corner instead of throwing so much shade, considering the level of scrub Brady Quinn was.
Yeah,
and he wants to drag Zach down to that level, but he's not a scrub like you.
Can I ask you a question? A couple of things I need to ask you. What do you think about the move to start the game with AVT at the left tackle?
You know what? It was a surprise, obviously. And also it shows you just the versatility this kid has. If they went through practice this week, obviously, Mike, they must have felt good with them playing left tackle to start him one. Obvious, right? That goes without saying. But the fact that this kid last year played left guard and was one of the better rookie offensive linemen in the whole league, was then playing right guard and was rated as high as anyone in the whole league. Mike, you were telling us stats last week that were completely ridiculous, when it comes to how well he was playing, Mike, and the level of play he was doing at PFF. And they move over to left tackle now, and he was pretty competent there. I saw a lot of pressure on Zach up the middle and from the other side. Didn't seem like AVT did too bad. We'll know after the game, Mike, when the PFF ratings come out, how well he did. It's kind of hard to judge the offensive lineman during the game. Bit of a surprise, but I think that shows you, how much they believe in the kid, and obviously how important that left tackle spot is, Mike. They wanted to keep Zach upright, and they must have thought, look, of all the guys we have here, it's easier to plug in some of these practice squad dudes that we just grabbed up, who we mentioned last week, or Connor McDermott. It's easier for us to plug one of them into a guard spot and move AVT over than give one of them the even more high-profile spot when you have an AVT on the line. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah. Also, what did you think about how Zach spread the ball around? Corey Davis, 5 receptions, 74 yards and a touchdown. Elijah Moore, 3 receptions, 53 yards. Tyler Conklin, 3 receptions, 52 yards. Garrett Wilson, 2 receptions for 41. Michael Carter, 2 receptions for 14. And then Breece Hall, 2 for 12. What did you think about how Zach spread the ball around and kind of met his targets?
Yeah, I mean, you look, I think it was 34 attempts for Zach. No, 36 attempts, like we said on the day for Zach. And it did seem like there wasn't one guy he was keying in on. What did we say for Wilson? So 2 for 41 on the day for Wilson, only 6 targets. So, I mean, you want that to get locked in a little bit better considering how good Wilson is. That beginning of the game, Mike, it seemed like what we thought was going to happen when it comes to Garrett Wilson. You got to pay attention to him now. And Elijah Moore seemed like he was wide open that whole entire first quarter. But why I like it is because it did seem like when the season started and we were in the preseason, to all of us at least, we were like, man, look at all these weapons we'll have on offense now. Look at all these weapons. If he has time in the pocket, look at all these guys Zach will have to throw the ball to that he didn't have last year when we were struggling for targets, struggling for weapons, struggling for guys that can take a regular pass, Mike, and make a play like you saw Garrett Wilson do today. His second reception, which was a regular reception, 6 or 7 yard catch. He goes and gets another extra 10, 15 yards for us, Elijah Moore can do the same thing. And when you see the amount of targets spread out like that, I think it was 6 for Hall too. 6 targets for Hall, which you like to see. I mean, I love that because obviously if a team keys in on someone, they try to take them away from them. And if you're not able to get the ball other places, you're going to struggle. I mean, that goes without saying, but it seemed like, when he had time in the pocket today, he did pretty well. And that goes without saying for most quarterbacks as well, like I just said. But I mean, I don't know. I was really happy. It's not a game on paper, like I said, that looks great for Zach. But the fact that we came away with a W and he finished the game off so strong, like, I don't know. I was pretty pleased with Zach, considering it's his first game, how long he's been out, and all those things, Mike.
Can I give you one metric that I was very impressed with Zach? Remember how we were saying his average depth of target or pass back was, what was it, 6.1 YPA? And we were like, that's got to get higher. Today, 14.
What? Ooh, that's pretty good right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty good right there. It did seem like he was slinging the ball downfield. I don't know. It just, some of those passes that last year I think frustrated Jets fans were the ones that seemed to be just the touch passes, Mike.
Yeah. I saw one bad touch pass. I saw one. It was to Breece Hall. That would have been a touchdown, by the way. Yeah. He had him, and I said, Zach. But then,
and it always seemed, but the ones like, he had a pass to Garrett Wilson on one of these routes. I mean, there was no separation. He put the ball, the only possible place the first catch Garrett Wilson had. The only possible place he could have caught it, and Garrett Wilson got the ball and made a play. I don't know. I saw things from Zach that made me happy today.
Yeah.
And Dolphins defense is pretty good in there, and their defensive pass rush is pretty decent also. So I know we got our hands full next week. We'll see what the line's looking like. Any point, Mike. It's been 4 weeks, so at any point, Dwayne Brown could come back. His health is just a complete mystery to all of us. We hope Max Mitchell's okay, Mike. But I'm proud of the squad, proud of the team. We'll go in a little bit deeper depth on this Wednesday night, man. I'm excited to talk about it.
That's what's up, man. And all you Jet fans out there, congrats. It was awesome. One of the biggest things I took away is just how well Zach operated in the middle of the field. You know, you saw it. Like Keith was saying, he was putting it on everybody who needed to, get and make a play. He was able to execute. So really love it. And can't wait to talk later this week as we get prepared for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, and all you AEBG fans that do tune into this after the game, obviously we're hyped about the Jets, but keep your head up because if the Mets go ahead, I know a lot of you guys are Mets fans. We take this W tonight versus the Braves. It's tied again, the division. And then we have a little drama heading into these last 5 or 6 games here, guys. We're going to be okay, though, Mets fans. I think we're going to
we stay tied, remember, we're tied right now head-to-head. So if we win tonight, we're ahead by 1. So if we end the season tied,
that's true. That's why Mike added layer there, guys. Okay, if we finish tied, we do win because we'll have a head-to-head schedule. Even if we take an L tonight, that's a good point, Mike. But Mike, that's all we got for now, man. If anyone does want to get at us, support us, or be involved in AEBG in any way, shape, or form, how can they do that?
Guys, we're on YouTube. Please like and subscribe at AEBG.Jets Radio, on Facebook, on Twitter at AEBG_NYJ podcast, and on Instagram at Jet.AEBG.
You heard the man. On behalf of the biggest Jet fan in the state of Texas, Michael Agaris. My name's Keith Farrell. Get at you guys on Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. Tune in. We'll be hitting you guys live. Talk to you next time. Peace out.
All right.